Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. I will set up the camera in a second, don't worry about that. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. We'll play some PSU today, and we haven't done it last week, so I thought we'd reschedule the stream to today. The reason there is no camera at the moment is because basically I have had to do a ton of updates and everything on my PC, and basically everything you could possibly think of broke during the process, so I've spent most of the day trying to get everything to work again. I think I've just about managed to get everything working, so hopefully in a sec I can get the camera working again. But yeah, it has been a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well anyway. There we go. Professional streamer, by the way. Yeah, it was crazy missed. So I updated Windows 11. That was my first fatal flaw. So did that, and it broke. Sound partially broke. I was lagging like crazy in basically every game I played. Then I immediately got a notification saying there was another update. So I updated again, and that fixed some things and broke some other things. So I've spent most of the day basically going backwards and forwards. I've had to update the BIOS on my PC, the chipset and everything, and I think we're in a situation where the games are running okay. Also, let me know if the game is really, really quiet or anything, because obviously OBS's settings all got screwed as well, so... Oh yeah, the BIOS needed an update as well. That, to be fair, that was on me, because I hadn't updated it for a few months. Why am I wearing a Fallout Vault jumpsuit? I never thought that. It does kind of look like one. Hi, Disaster. Good to see you. And good to see you, Blank, as well. Also, Boink, while you're here, just let you know, the book that you won in the giveaway, that is getting posted tomorrow. So, you should hopefully get it in the next few days. So yeah, I thought we'd do some PSU mainly because we were meant to do it last Sunday, and for reasons, we didn't get to do it. The downside is the event boosts apparently end today. I don't know if they have ended already. But even if they have, we'll just run some stuff. I'm gonna be honest, it's still not running exactly as I want it to, but it's better than it was. Controller freaking out beyond a bit. It must be contagious. Do Clem camp on an alt. For a warm-up. I mean, I could do, I guess. I mean, I've only got one alt. Yeah, I guess I can try that. I think the other character is somewhere around 60. I can't remember where though exactly. $54, not far off. I only have 2 characters in this so far because I don't play it that often. Okay, let's see. How's the game volume looking? I can probably knock up a little bit, I think. Yeah, we'll try that. Yeah, we've still got the event music, so maybe that's a good sign. Because I would imagine they'll take the event down and cancel the boost at the same time. So what does this character even have? Not a lot is the answer to that. Why is she got terrible equipment? That'll be because she's only 40 going to level 2. Yeah, I guess I can run a Clem camp and just say. I've got a rare mission there as well. We'll keep hold of that. Yes, I can't do A unfortunately because you ain't be 65 for that. But I mean, I'll do B. And then after this, then we can get some parties going. Yeah, give me some range weapons, sure. What do I even have? Shotgun, that'll do. I mean, there is one advantage to running Clem Camp. Chick track. I do appreciate how everything seems to drop float on charges and mates as well. That does help. Oh, there's one level. Yeah, experiencing this is kind of dumb. Yeah, I hope you guys have been having a good weekend anyway. I think as I posted in the community post, the schedule should hopefully get more or less back to normal now, I think. I now know the date for the funeral, so, and that doesn't fall on the stream day anyway, so it won't affect things in the slightest. So I think Wednesday we should be fine doing front mission. I forgot to mention on the community post as well, actually, on I think it's on Tuesday, is it 27th on Tuesday? The next episode of the Arch Lounge will be going live as well on Kathy's channel. Like I said, Wednesday should be the normal front mission as well. Hi, Zil, good to see you. Yeah, there is stuff going on behind the scenes a bit as well, so I actually managed to record a video finally. I know it's been like a month since the last upload. That was not intentional by any means. I know I said I'd want to slow down on the video uploads a little bit, but I did not intend for it to be an entire month between uploads. It's just obviously with everything that's happened, it's just kind of thrown things into disarray a bit. But I have actually managed to record something. Man is back, good to see you, sorry for your loss. Oh, thanks for that, Mechanagy. Yeah, this is Clem Camp. I just thought, I think Drac was having some controller problems, so thought while we're waiting, we'll just do a quick Clem Camp on this character. So yeah, video has been recorded. I think it's probably going to go live on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Please give me something useful. They are not useful. I guess you could use them for mag food, I suppose, but... How different are the boxes here from PSO? I mean, this quest's a bit of an outlier. Yeah, so those reds were rare weapons, so I think for weapons in this, I think anything of, I want to say 7-star or higher is treated as a rare. But weapons are ranked in this, as are armors. So you have like C rank, B rank, A rank, and S rank weapons. So realistically, most sort of C, B, and A rank weapons I won't bother using. There is some exceptions to that, but the game treats anything A rank or higher generally as a rare. Yeah, this is the NPC slaughter quest. This whole point of this quest basically is the power level. You can only do it, I think, once per day though. It doesn't even matter if you die because it just revives you. It's literally just a power level. Although having said that, that kind of counts as a rare as well. There are some sort of unusual drops that might be lower than A rank that are still kind of counted as rares, even though it's not in a red box. But these, for example, are both treated as rares, even though they're both kind of garbage. How are leveling through slaughtering humans perfect? I mean, given recent events, I'm all for that. Yeah, anyways, Drac, I'm just finishing this anyway, so... Oh, time to end Ethan. Now, how is it with his weird stretchy arms? It did sound a bit like a bot. It was one of those comments where, like, it was so bad it could have been a bot or someone insane. Got distracted while waiting for the stream to start, but hey now. Good to see you, Scorpio. Oh, these drops suck. It seemed like a very particular brand of neurodivergence. It was something. Like, I'm never going to be the kind of person who tells someone what class you should play. You know, at the end of the day, if you're playing PSO and you want to play Humor, then play Humor. But you have to acknowledge there are faults with the class. We can level up other characters or try to get nice ult weapons and ultimate missions. I'm down for doing ultimate if you want. I'm happy to switch over. I'm not sure who Evie Kelson is, but thank you anyway. Yeah, they want help with the rare mission. That's fine. I mean, I'm fine sort of switching over anyway. Just play Humor if you want to. Not everyone's perfect. Yeah, so I will go and get my beast again. Yeah, I'm all for people playing whatever class they want to. I mean, hell, you know, when I played PSU on the Sega servers, one of my main characters was a Newman Forte Fighter, which is like one of the worst class combinations you can go with. But I did it. One of your and Bank's friends played an awful Roma, but he enjoyed himself. That's all that matters. Hey, 8-Bit, good to see you. Got my Hugh and Bluebears to a high enough level for Ultimate, so I expect to see Asimov next time we're on PSO. Oh, nice. Always good to see more people in Ultimate as well. Yeah, we can meet in Guardian Sub if you want. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, going for min-max is, you know, it's something if you want to do it, you can, but it really doesn't matter too much. It was a really weird series of comments, though, just because the guy, like, he did this big rant, then sent me a comment apologising for the rant, saying that he, you know, his attitude wasn't right and he apologised for what he commented, then proceeded to reply to that with another rant comment. So I guess, I mean, did you want to lead party, Drac, or do you want me to? I'm not sure what we should be running for good drops in Ultimate. You pick, okay. You don't know either. Fair. Every mission has some ultimate weapons, okay. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, Mist? It's basically you can't determine whether someone's comment is a bot comment or not. We could try Anguish. Oh god, we have Anguish on here as well. I mean, we can try Anguished if you want. I mean, I guess we're all 190. Sure, Anguish missions. Hey, Danthorax, good to see you. Alright, let's try. Let's try a nice, simple Sleeping Warriors. Yeah. I have no idea what drops in this. Spoiler, it's not going to be simple. I mean, I guess that. But, you know, what could possibly go wrong? Hi, PK, good to see you. Alright, time to get absolutely deleted. So, Pika, I think the event boosts basically end today. We don't know when exactly. Alright, let's see how deleted I get. I think this will forever be one of my favourite Fortnites in PSU. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really get to play much of the event on Clementine, really. Just with everything going on, just having a chance, really. Oh god, there's Gurhal here. I mean, we're killing stuff. I've also noticed there's a... It's probably really hard for you guys to see. Again, this is sort of a whole resolution thing. But there is a timer at the top right of the screen which is just not going down. So I don't know why it's there. As always as well, if anyone does want to join for any of the PSU games, just feel free to. I'm guessing it must be disabled, yeah, because it's not changing. Yeah, the final part of this PA is really nice. Has really good range. The knockback's actually quite nice as well for the dangerous enemies. But yeah, hopefully there's no stutter or very little stutter on this stream. I was having a lot of problems with like random micro stutters in games and stuff earlier. It's still not totally fixed either as well. I am having some problems. I know with NGS at the moment, for some reason, I've got a problem with it where when I log in, the load times for getting into the camps in NGS are just taking forever for me for some reason. Everything else in the game works absolutely fine, but for some reason the loading in takes ages. How do you feel about this game? I've played a bit of PSO and PSU looks nice. I like PSU. Of the online games, I think PSO is always my favourite, but I like some of the changes that PSU made. I'm not as big a fan of some of the other changes, but I think overall it's a really decent game. I think if you've played PSO and you like it, maybe give PSU a shot. It's definitely got a lot more involved combat than PSO for sure. I'm not sure if you've played PSO2 or not, either PSO2 or NGS, but this does very much feel like a kind of halfway house between PSO and those games. Okay, yeah, can confirm stuff hurts. I didn't realize how much health these have. Yeah, I think I've said this several times, but one of the cool things about the Phantasy Star games, particularly the online games, by which I mean any game that has online functionality, they all play very different. So it's one of those things where if you really don't vibe with one of them, just try a different one and it probably plays completely differently. And let's be real, as much as I love PSO, the combat is very basic. I think PSU was a nice progression of that. And you know, it has cool stuff like the SUV weapons, nanoblasts, so I do like some of the stuff they brought in with PSU. How are those enemies fitting in that box? Stood a bit on and after the loading. I'll keep an eye on it. Gameplay feels okay. At least it's not Dark Falls. At least it isn't, yeah. Not yet. Honestly, it's nice in PSU just to do some normal missions for a change, because it feels like every time I play it's an event. Yeah, the EXP is kind of insane. I mean, it's just pretty tanky, but kind of expected that. Yeah, 40,000 experience from that guy. Love PSU, no surprises in saying it's my favourite, but 100% agree, much like Final Fantasy, there are plenty of differences between each game. Yeah, for sure. It's very different experiences, really. I don't think there's ever been a Phantasy Star game that's got everything right. But it's because they changed the formula with them so much. Oh, that happened out of nowhere. So I guess this is meant to be like Clementine's equivalent of the Infinite Anguish mode. I don't know what came first. New to Clementine, love PSU on 360, glad to be back. Yeah, it's kind of the only option for playing PSU online at the moment, as far as I'm aware. It's never going to be an exact remake of the Sega servers for sure. There are a lot of differences, but if I have enough fun on Clementine, I'm happy with it. They all have pros and cons. Happen to like each game in the series, but pick your poison by all means, yeah. The thing is, for picking your favourite one as well, I think a lot of it ultimately just comes down to nostalgia. You know, from the online games, I think PSO GameCube is still my personal favourite, but that is because that's kind of what I started with and what I have like the most memories of. As a game, Blue Burst is probably just better for the most part, but Yeah, but I think what I really like about Clementine is they seem really active on keeping the game updated. You know, they seem to run quite regular events. They're always like tweaking with things, which is good. It shows they're really invested in actually keeping the server, you know, updated. The good news is this seems to be running okay after all the issues on PC earlier. If you wonder why I ignore a lot of these drops on the floor, it's because a lot of them are materials for crafting stuff, and I really don't engage with the crafting in PSU that much. Something I really don't like about the game. I prefer to just find stuff instead. That was quite nasty spawn putting those in this corridor, actually. Like, as how the AI on those works, they tend to jump forward. So put them in a really narrow corridor like that is certainly a decision. It's funny how much you remember as well, because I kind of remember this room from the Sega servers, and I remember that some of the boxes have enemies in. It's kind of weird how we still remember stuff like that. Yeah, that was like 150,000 experience. I suppose the good thing about Clementine as well is it does give you ways to get leveled up really quickly. So if you are a new player coming back and you want to get inside the, you know, the good stuff at the higher level, it does kind of facilitate you getting there. Yeah, you've got quests like Clem Camp, which I showed at the beginning of the stream. They give tons of experience, so... I suppose again, like, the only real shame is that we can't do episode 3 story. But there's not a whole lot they can do about that, really. I mean, not that PSU's story was like massively revolutionary or anything, but it's just a shame that some of it's missing. I actually really like the music in this area. Yeah, time to test this axe out anyway. I think I got this last stream. If you play PSO, you can probably recognise it. Would like to use it against these guys, but unfortunately it's light elements, so it wasn't very good. The only way we get episode 3 is if someone from Sega who worked on it reached out. Yeah, I think at this point we just have to accept that it is just lost. There are very grainy YouTube videos of it, but yeah. I honestly can barely even remember episode 3. Just so much variety in PSU. It's great to play every mission at least once. Okay, I like these missions. If you're gonna throw Phantasy Star 4 music at me, I'm all for it. Especially this song as well. Dude, I appreciate this song so much more now I've played that game. Seriously, playing the original Phantasy Star quadrilogy, actually, maybe buy a Mega Drive again. I don't know what it is, I just really love how the Mega Drive sounds. Always have done. Yeah, this is a lot of Sphaltus. Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. I think it's just amazing what it could actually do, you know, with the limited resources they had to work with. Yeah, okay, this is quite nasty. I will admit, this is quite hard. Gonna go cook, we'll log into YouTube to watch. Yeah, no worries, Boink. Yeah, for anyone who might not know, we do multi-stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so... Extra keys are not working for element swap, oof. Well, I've got 2 demon blades, whatever they're for. Okay, do we get anything good? Why are these all so close together? That's actually quite annoying. You got us a rank down. What was it? What did we get ranked down for? Was it for dying? Is that rank down? Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm not worried about rank, honestly. There's videos on YouTube for some of the episode 3 levels. I think only 2 are missing. Pretty sure they're listed in at least one of the Japanese guidebooks too. Could probably be recreated. Yeah. It'd be a fair bit of work, I imagine, to do it. I can't imagine there's too much demand for it either, unfortunately. Yeah, I should probably config my control actually as well, Drac, to get my extra buttons working. Yeah, these are fun quests. They're difficult enough, I think, but not overboard. And they'll just bring it back to the Guardians hub as well, so it's a nice loop. There's quite a lot of people on. How many are playing at the minute? 93, that's pretty good for Clementine. Of which 54 people are here. It's a great hub, this, because it has everything you need in it as well. I like there's a guy there just called Tower is Trash. I mean, it doesn't even matter what game you're talking about. I think we can all agree that that's true for pretty much every Phantasy Star. Hi, it's playable. Good to see you. Really wish PSU high definition numbers would be such a different experience. I think there's enough people on Clementine to be able to get parties, but yeah, it is definitely a lot quieter than Affinia for sure. Let's do some more anguish anyway. I think what we'll do is we'll just maybe just like work through different planets. Carrot looks so casual. Looks like she just finished a shift at the supermarket, then grabbed a gun and a sword. Yeah, I mean the fashion in PSU is kind of like, it was a fairly big focus when the game released because it was the first time we'd really had that ability to be able to swap outfits around. I know PSO you can change outfit, but it's like predetermined outfit types. In this you could actually mix and match stuff. Let's do... Should we try one this time that has a boss in it? Yeah, let's do Demons Above. I don't know if Demons Above counts as fun, but at least it has nice music. Yeah, at least we get the Mizuraki music, you know. Wanted to play Clem recently, but my game crashes on startup due to PSUX.dll. Found a fix in the past, but can't find the post with the replacement DLL. I know that was a problem for people a while back. I can't remember where the replacement DLL is now. If anyone in chat knows, just please feel free to post. Yeah, I wish I could help. I know a few people have had that problem. Well, I can't help noticing that all the enemies are fire elements, which they are not normally in this quest. So... Oh, I forgot. Yeah, this is the Fortnite that has the Hadouken at the end. Oh, we got boomers. Oh, so you reinstalled it and then it broke. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I would echo what 8-Bit's saying there. If you haven't joined the Clementine Discord, it might be worth asking on there in case anyone else had the same problem. It seems like a fairly active Discord from what I've seen. You want a clean install for integrity's sake. Yeah, I mean, you would think doing a clean install would be good, but yeah, hopefully you can get it sorted out though. I can't see what level your character is. Yeah, so the UI is basically, it kind of scales based on resolution, and I end up with a very, very small UI. I can see it fine on my monitor, but I know on the stream, obviously, because it's a smaller window, it does look very small. But I am level 193. You can change the UI size now. I say for me, it's fine, but yeah, I might look into resizing it then so people can see it a bit better. Is it just in the launcher settings for the resizing? Okay. The timing on this PA is quite awkward. I keep messing it up. I keep going too early, I think. Yeah. Yeah, good to see you, Jumperilla. Yeah, I think before I play PSU next time, I'll try and fiddle around with the UI settings so you can see it a bit better. I wonder if it's going to be the same music at the end of every Anguish quest, or if it differs. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's just one of those things with Clementine. It seems to work absolutely no problems at all for some people, and then other people just have no end of issues with it. I'm actually really liking these quests so far. They've got enough of a difficulty spike to feel like an actual challenge, but they're not ridiculously overtuned. Although I haven't said that we haven't fought a boss yet. Got a photon drop from a boomer. Classic. And a boomer claw as well. Yeah, this experience is really, really good. I guess the boosts are active at the minute, so that's helping a lot as well. Is this Ragdoll or a Boomer's not only native to Ragdoll? This is not Ragdoll. But for reasons I don't understand, when the PSU expansion launched, which was Ambitions of the Luminous, one of the quests on the Planet New Days just added Boomers to it. I guess they heard people saying we want PSO and just decided to give Boomers to PSU. There are, you might have seen them before when I played it, but there are rare missions that do have like, versions of the PSO maps though. I think the game explains it as like it's an alternate dimension or something. Yeah, this area, this is just one of the planets from PSU. It's just that they, for whatever reason, decided to add the Boomers to it. So I think it was, they added Boomers, and then they also added Giga Boomers as well, which were, in this, are rare enemies. Although they changed the name of them to Giga Boomers in this. So... because apparently naming cannot be consistent between any Phantasy Star game. Okay, Boomer, I guess. Yeah, I've got to say, I wouldn't like to solo this. I think it would take far too long and probably be far too difficult. Hi, Casey. Good to see you. It is Skylas and... yeah, this guy feels about as tanky as an NGS enemy. Seriously, some of the enemies in that game are ridiculously tanky. Yeah, for anyone watching who might not have tried this server out, this server is called Clementine. If you just Google for Clementine, Phantasy Star Universe, there should be a download link for it there. Probably noticed that almost every weapon I'm using is a PSO weapon. Like, that just seems to have happened. the subject of PSO weapons, I'm actually still trying to get a PSO weapon in NGS as well. Like, those drops are just not happening. We actually have something rare in NGS, which is amazing. I was actually quite annoyed because I was saving money to try and buy a Sangayasha because it wasn't dropping. And I got just enough money to buy one, and then I went to go and check it and someone had bought it, and now they've all been twice as expensive. It'll happen, it'll happen. Yeah, it is insane how rare the PSO weapons are in NGS though. I've only seen a couple of people in the lobbies since the time that Luther got added and the drops started dropping. I think I've only seen maybe, what, 3 or 4 people with one. There's a couple on the player shops and that's about it. Which I'm all for because I actually wanted something rare to hunt. That was kind of one thing's missing from NGS, but now I've actually got something to hunt for. As long as they never add SGS, I'll be okay. I think they need to change outfit on this character at some point as well. I'm getting a bit sick of this one. And there we go, there's the Jigo boomers. Oh yeah, they also use Icex for some reason. Yeah, they also do appear to have mohawks in this game. Hi, Zatara, good to see you. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the boost would still be on for Clementine today, because the event boost period just says it runs until today. I'm about to go shovel snow, but wanted to say hi. Oh, no worries. I hope it's not too bad where you are. Although if you haven't a shovel snow, it probably sounds quite bad. I hate it. The weather's just been weird recently. It's just been... It feels like I've had storms constantly. Like, I can't remember the last day it wasn't windy. It's less than the snow Mageddon we expected, but still a chunky amount of snow. Yeah, over here, like whenever it snows, the country just basically goes to a standstill. People just do not know how to cope with it. I'll always remember the hospital that I work at. There was one day where we had some snow in the area, and when I say we had some snow, I'm talking... There was maybe like a centimetre dusting of snow on the ground. It was next to nothing. And I distinctly remember that one of the consultants at the hospital phoned in and said that there was no way he could get into work because he couldn't get off his driveway because of the snow. He lived locally. I think there was quite a few eyebrows raised. Honestly, I feel that this country, we don't really get really bad snow generally. I think we had it... It was a few years ago now. I know there was like about a week or two where it was really, really bad. When I actually couldn't get off the driveway to get to work. I had to walk to work instead. But yeah, generally it's really not bad over here. Honestly, it's one of the things I'm quite thankful for living in the UK. There's not many things to be thankful for living here. But having just this weather that isn't crazy all the time is nice. Oh, is that an indie bell or a cannon? I think it is. Yeah, what I love about this Fortnite as well with the knuckles is the fact that you can steer the last part really well. So if the enemy you're going for dies, you can kind of redirect it. My god, I've actually got a full party. Tends to be mild in the UK, rarely too hot, too cold. Yeah, there was like one year where we had like 40 degrees Celsius in summer, which was awful because I'm not used to it. And then that really bad snowstorm a few years back, but apart from that, it's generally like tolerable 99% of the time. I don't like fighting these guys with a melee class. We've got this gimmick where if you just go near them, you get hurt. Well, I've got no idea how bad this is going to be. I mean, we do have 6 people, so... We'll see how it goes. Also, it's probably quite loud. Because PSU apparently has no volume control for bosses. Everything is loud in the cutscenes. Told ya. I don't know why it's like that. Yeah, he's level 250. But there is 6 people who are all very high level, so... I've also really liked the music for this fight as well, actually. He didn't even get off the ground. Anguish, by the way. Yeah, nothing really. Well, material ticket, whatever that is. I mean, I'll take it. I've never seen it before, so it must be something new. It's always been a thing with cutscenes, at least on Clementine. Yeah, cause I mean, obviously it's been a long time since the original servers. I don't remember an issue with it on Sega side, but yeah, on Clementine, it seems to be an issue with pretty much every boss. The cutscene just seems way louder. I think Adana Dagana is probably the worst. The explosion at the end is just incredibly loud. Okay, let's do... Can we stick to demons if possible? Let's negotiate this. So as I thought, it's because you want drops. You've run demons above so many times. If everyone's okay doing it, I don't mind doing it, but... I guess it must be a really good farm. Don't mind which light variety. But we'll do at least one more demons. Yeah, so... Yeah, full disclosure, I have no idea of any of the drops for these missions, so... I don't know which missions are good for drops, which are terrible. Uber Kraza neck. I mean, sure. I will say once you get 6 people doing this, it is significantly easier. I mean, I'll be honest, to me, it doesn't feel much different to regular Ultimate, but I guess we've only run a couple of quests, so maybe it's hard to tell. Hi, Draffy, good to see you. Yeah, stuff is just kind of melting now. Yeah, not feeling too bad, Draffia. I mean, obviously it's been a difficult week, but yeah, we kind of know what's happening now, so just going day by day at the minute, really. At the moment, we're just kind of waiting for the funeral, which is like a week and a half's time. Just got a gold Miller U plus, if only it dropped in PSO this easily. Yeah, so you're saying about the gold level. I just got an Irritist Spellstone. I mean, if that was PSO, that'd be a big drop. Not so much in this. Kind of feel with the U plus weapons. It feels like you don't get any for a few runs, and then you just get like a couple out of nowhere. They never seem particularly rare, but I know there are some that are very hard to get. I think just because there's that many weapons in this game, kind of floods the drop pool a little bit. There's one of the few missions on the demo version on 360 still ran it even when you got the Hunter's License back in the day. Just because I was farming on Magog out from the boss. Yeah, I remember a lot of people used to farm that. I think, was that used? I'm trying to remember now. Was that used for the room decoration? So I'm pretty sure there was like a statue in your room you could get of on Magog. It was for the room decoration. It was a pretty rare drop. Yeah, PSU was pretty good for having like some good long-term hunts. I know for me, it was mainly hunting the Agito. I trying to find the board for that and then all the edges to make it as well. Yeah, we seem to have someone who is quite intent on telling people what to do. This is why I just play melee classes. I just hit stuff. The experience seems pretty good so far. Having said that, I am still 54 million off next level. Yeah, melee is really fun in PSU. I think it's quite a stark contrast to PSO, because obviously the combat in PSO is very, very simplistic. As much as I love the game, the combat is very, very simple. I do feel PSU is a big step forward for that. It gives you a lot more options. Oh, you're getting plenty of levels on the fort now, too. What I find really funny about this is there's a few of these guys arguing. And they're arguing about, like, who should be doing buffs, who should be doing debuffs. While they're arguing, no one is doing buffs or debuffs. I think Drac is debuffing. At the end of the day, does it really matter in a game from 2006? I don't think I'm going to be... It's the most you've seen people argue over buffs since you started streaming PSU. I mean, come on, does it really matter? Is there really a need for absolute meta play in PSU? I might legitimately just run a different mission next time, just to influence these guys to leave. Yeah, normally, like, no one has any issues on this game. Just apparently we've got the one party that likes to argue about everything. New Days is your favourite planet. It's like Space Japan. Yeah, I really like New Days. To be fair, I think I like most of the areas in PSU. I like most of the planets. They all differ a huge amount, so... Music is on point, yeah. I think quite a few of the areas in New Days are really, really strong musically. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit amused about these people arguing. See, we've had a bit of that lately. Right? We've got this in PSU, and then I've had like a few comments on PSL videos recently with people arguing as well. I don't know what it is. There must be something in the air. Like NGS videos, I understand that because people apparently love to argue about that game. Speaking of which, Kathy did a video about NGS recently, actually, going through some of the sort of the perceived issues with the game. And so trying to explain things from like an objective standpoint, and as pretty much expected, there are quite a lot of hate comments on it. Make me want to get one of those retro handhelds and play Phantasy Star all day. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I think most of the games would translate pretty well to a handheld. I think playing PSU on a handheld would be really good, actually. I think it would suit it quite a lot. I mean, I guess you literally had that with Phantasy Star Portable. I realised that as I was saying it. Oh my god, they're still complaining. Yeah, well, do you know what? I think out of principle, I am running a different quest next time. You lost your demons above privileges. Oh, did they warp early? Did everyone get in there? Or did they warp early out of spite? I think they warped early out of spite. They did. Yeah, that sucks. I'm pretty sure it was this Shiro guy who did it. Because he's one of the ones that's been arguing for the whole quest. Does seem like whatever the current version of Phantasy Star is, loads of people post hate comments. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, so this is the first time I've really seen like drama on Clementine. But yeah, we're not running this with these guys again. They've lost privileges. What did Warp and Early do? It basically prevented the rest of the party from getting any of the boss drops. So we're going to go to a different quest. I'm going to go to Mortube and do something else. If they'd have played ball and been nice, we would have kept doing demons above, but no. I don't know, some people just have problems. Fan with variety. After that, Drax or my. Then I'll start my own demons, yeah, go for it. Please do. Let's do that one. Yeah, I don't know what their problem was. There was a few of them, but I just don't see sense in starting beef for people in a game that has 90 people online. Maybe that's just me. And I'm not saying that other games are free of this. You know, obviously this does happen in other games as well. I'm just kind of surprised that it happened in a game with a relatively small player base. I guess often though, when you've got people who are very passionate fans, sometimes it can be a downside. I think it's the same with a lot of things. I think when you've got people who are obviously very, very passionate about something, it's very easy to get into conflict. But that honestly, that just seemed like it was over nothing. Never understood why people are so competitive. I mean, everyone is still leveling up, right? Yeah, I mean, everyone's still getting experience. I think I would have been okay with it if someone didn't start the boss warp early. Because I think starting the boss warp early and basically preventing people from getting drops is well, it's a dick move. There's no other way to put it. Yeah, especially when realistically the whole point of that quest is for the boss drops. Oh. I tried to get through. Yeah, note to self, fire traps hurt. But yeah, to the people who were saying, you know, should I try PSU? Yes, still try it. I know this has not been a perfect demonstration of why you should try it, but still try it. The very, very large majority of players in this game are really, really nice. And they're more than happy to help people out. Yeah, the fire traps really hurt. I think there are good and bad things from every PSO. That said, I think it's lost its soul. I can get what you mean. I think with NGS in particular, I think one of the things that could do to help the state it's in would be just to improve the story. I think because NGS's story is virtually non-existent, it just kind of feels like characters don't really have any impact or anything. We've got a Romulus U+, whatever that is. Double saber, apparently. Yeah, I think, for NGS though, I think we are getting a major story update in, I think it's April. So I'm hoping that once that lands, that will solve that problem. Oh, that's Rev's weapon from Zero. Oh, cool. I don't even know if I can use it on this class. I've got a feeling I can't. No. Damn. Yeah, it's quite a cool looking weapon, that as well. Have you played the Xenoblade games? So I did one stream of Xenoblade Chronicles, the remake of it. I'll be honest, I really struggled to get into it. I don't know what it was. I mean, I only played it obviously for the one stream for the 3 hours. I really struggled with the battle system in particular. It could just be something I need to get used to, but I really, really struggled to get into that game. I haven't tried any of the other games though. It was only the first one that I tried. I just kind of felt like I had no idea what I was doing with the battle system. Which, to be fair, is more on me. They added all the weapons from portable games in Zero some time ago. Yeah, I know some of the portable weapons are in. I actually didn't know the Zero weapons were in, actually. That is very cool. What are the newish games scratch your PSOH? I mean, primarily off-stream, I do play NGS, because I am kind of happy with that. I still enjoy the game regardless of the issues. I've also been playing a lot of Guild Wars Reforged. That is mainly because I used to play Guild Wars like 20 years ago when it first launched. So I do play a bit of that as well. Apart from that, I would say Monster Hunter, but I haven't really played Monster Hunter much since Wilds launched, because Wilds just didn't do it for me. I love Monster Hunter World. I have put a significant amount of time into World, but for some reason I could not get into Wilds much. Sunbreak was pretty good as well. I wish they could add dodge roll, but I think it's impossible. I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, I don't know what the limitations are. Dodge roll is a really nice feature of things like PSP2. And you do notice not having it here. You know, there are times where you do want to like dodge roll out the way of an attack, and you just can't in PSU. I guess in PSU you've got things like just counters that you can do, but yeah, it would be nice to have some kind of evasive mechanic. It just never happened, unfortunately. I guess you evade attacks in PSU by just getting out of the way of the attack. Honestly, at the moment, there hasn't been that many other games I've been playing. It's been primarily this, Guild Wars, and NGS. But when I say this, I mean, you know, PSO, PSU, and so on. Honestly, I think Guild Wars is probably the game I've put the most time into lately. I'm still having a lot of fun with that game. Man, that guy gave 130,000 experience. Now, it might just be me, but it does kind of feel in these Ultimate quests that they have added the same enemies to almost every area. That could just be the quests I've picked. Never tried Guild Wars, played some WoW back in the day, though. Yeah, Guild Wars is kind of weird. Cause I'm not really a big fan of MMOs in general. I generally just don't really enjoy them, but something about Guild Wars I really enjoy. I think it's because in Guild Wars you just kind of go into like an instance area with a few friends and just, you know, just go through it. And I really like that. But yeah, I've never been a massive MMO fan, really. I played a few over the years, but never really put a lot of time into any of them, to be honest. Sonic Splendor U Plus with 1% element, nice. This is based on the Japanese PSU Ambition of the Limits. Don't think it's possible to add a dodge. I wouldn't be surprised if they can't add it. I mean, I don't really know enough about the Gurhal games. I wonder if if PSP2 is running on the same engine as PSU. Genuinely don't know. I've got no idea where to go. Yeah, for me, I think instead of playing MMOs, I was more into just RPGs in general. I do want to try and play a lot more JRPGs this year as well. Great to see all the new Fortnite have added as well, and new missions. Been busy. There is a lot of content on Clementine now. There is a lot to do. While they're at it, they should add sprinting, sliding, jumping, gliding, double jumping, double gliding, double sprinting and sliding. And then call it something like New Genesis. Although I sometimes think you have too much mobility in that game. I want to finish Nier and hop into either Persona 5 Royal or just go into Nier Replicant straight after. Yeah, like I know we talked about it on the Discord yesterday. I think you'll enjoy Nier Automata for the story, but yeah, not so much for the combat. Replicant for me felt, well, the Replicant remake felt, combat felt similar to Automata, but it did felt like they'd improved it a little bit. Yeah, I can quite honestly say I've never really played a Persona game. Yeah, I do definitely want to try and check out some more RPGs this year on stream. I know we're doing Front Mission at the minute. People have submitted some suggestions as well, so I'll have to think about what I want to do next. Didn't play much this week, but tried out No Rest for the Wicked. It's fun and the art style's pretty. I've not tried that. If the mobility wasn't enough, you have the gravity lifts everywhere you could possibly want to go, so there's no need to get creative with your traversing. For what it's worth, the gravity lifts, they weren't as numerous in NGS near launch. They added more a little while back. Particularly in, I think it was in Alio, they added a lot of the jump catapults. I do kind of feel that being open world is like potentially one of the biggest weaknesses of NGS. I get what they were going for, but, and I think a lot of people who play NGS probably feel the same way, but the world just feels very underutilized, and a lot of the content is just instance content anyway, so I almost kind of don't see the point in the open world part. Enjoy Persona 4 Gold and finish it twice. Yeah, I say the only sort of Persona or Shin Megami Tensei game I've played is, I played a tiny bit of the online ones. I think it was the online Shin Megami Tensei, which I never got into. But yeah, I've never played Persona game, so maybe I should at some point. Yeah, I agree. Difficult. I think the world in NGS does feel very empty. It's a really nice looking world. There's some really nice vistas and everything to look at. There's some, you know, really, really nice looking parts of the world, but there's just not a lot in it. I think it was ultimately, it was released at a time where it felt like every game, like people wanted open world in pretty much everything. And it kind of feels a bit shoehorned in with NGS, I think. I mean, maybe that's why they're focusing so much on limited time quests with NGS, because they are all instance content. Maybe that's one reason they're focusing more on it. A lot of games past few years went balls deep on the whole open world thing. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel that open world, it can be good if it's done well. I think so many games drop the ball for it. think the issue is that quite often you get an open world that just feels dead. You know, if you can do open world, it needs to feel like a living, breathing world. And unfortunately, I don't think NGS's world does. I'm guessing, is it this way? Yes, it is. You got 4 U plus to this mission. I was like, I've gone to the wrong computer to get monomats. Open world is a scam created by a big corpo. Love the soundtrack. Yeah, PSU's music is really good. Definitely one of the strong points of the game. You had no U plus drops until this mission where drop 4. Okay. Yeah, I think my brain kind of stopped working the first time I tried reading that. Alright, so we've done most of the planets now. So I guess let's do a Guardians colony mission. I should tell you the mods there for the enemies. So because someone said the music's good, let's do a hive mission. Yeah, go on, let's try this. I'm sure this will be fun. Enjoy the hive music. I just went to the mission counter. I mean, the name of the quest was in red, so I'm assuming it's an Anguish one. This is exactly why I wish PSU music had a chill version with no enemies around. Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it for Hive, but having said that, Ruins did, you know, Ruins had a chill version in PSR. Alright, let's see how horrific this is. It's weird because the name of the quest was in red. Oh, you got the game working, Jimmy. No, nice. Forgot how bad the audio mixing is in this game. It's kind of strange, isn't it, that they had the dynamic music in PSO and then just didn't use it at all for PSU. I mean, I know the dynamic music in PSO can be a little bit hit and miss sometimes. Oh, you're back on Twitch, boink. God, the Mazetta drops are huge. 15,000. I was meant to ask, what's the level cap and how does the experience grind compared to PSO? So level cap is 200, just like PSO. Experience on, at least on this server, is quite weird. So you seem to level very, very quickly. You seem to level very, very quickly up until about sort of late 180s or very early 190s, and then it basically just stops. So yeah, like at the moment I need what? Yeah, so I need 49.4 million experience to level. Obviously these enemies are given a bit more than they would in PSO, but the last 10 levels in particular are very, very grindy. You're like 80% to 200. So, do you mean like 80% total experience towards 200? I know obviously in PSO it's like level about 183, isn't it? That's halfway. So is 199 only 80%? The thing is though, when you get to this level, you're basically pretty much as strong as you're going to get anywhere, so... And once you're at like 180, 190, you're probably just grinding for stuff anyway. Oh, you mean 20% of your experience bar left? Okay. That makes more sense. That would have been terrifying if it was like 80% towards 200 when you're at 199. I honestly can't remember what the grind was like on the Sega servers. I mean, the interesting thing about the Sega servers is that we never even got the level 200 cap on the global side. I assume Japan probably did, but yeah, the global server, I think ours capped at about, I want to say 180. And the reason it didn't go any further is because the game went down. So it's kind of funny playing at 190 plus because this is somewhere we never would have got to on the Sega servers. It's a fair catch-up mechanic so you can play missions from all over and especially with your friends. Yeah, I think on Clementine it's very obvious that the early experience is very, very accelerated. But I guess they just want to get people into the higher content so more people can play together. I suppose as well because ultimately it's quite a small player base. They kind of want as many people playing together as they can, so it makes sense. Honestly, these little guys are some of like the most annoying enemies in the game. They're like hyper aggressive. Did you guys see the PSO2 stuff the Clementine guys have been working on? Yeah, it looks really interesting from what I've seen. Obviously, I can't really cover it because I'm a official NGS creator, so because PSO2 is still live, I can't really go into it, but yeah, I am aware of it though. I mean, let's be real, you know, there was always going to be a private server for PSO2. I think it's fairly obvious that pretty much any game in this franchise that's online gets a private server sooner or later. Which is a good thing, obviously, because, you know, continued support for the game is great. It's just I can't really talk about it too much while the Sega server is still active. It's PSO2, my beloved. Yeah, a lot of people really love that game. I don't know, I have a really complicated relationship with base PSO2. At certain points in that game cycle, I absolutely adored it, and at some points I hated it. I think with PSO2 as well, it's just that it was such a massive shift away from anything we'd seen before. Yeah, and Jess is pretty good at the minute. I think unless you want story, that's the big downside with NGS, that there is next to no story, but hopefully April will help to fix that. Actual content though, in terms of, you know, like actually doing missions, farming stuff, the combat system and everything, I have fun with it. It's by no means perfect, but I think NGS is, I say this all the time, I feel like I'm sort of, you know, record on repeat at this point, but I do honestly feel, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an NGS creator, I do genuinely feel that NGS is in a much better place now. I love these guys. I mean, what's on the roadmap for NGS? It looks pretty promising. I think there's 2 story quests. I think there's one in April and one in, was it August, I think? And then major story quests, so... there does look like some interesting stuff coming. It does look like they're bringing some more PSO2 classic stuff as well. Some more bosses from that. Story I don't mind as much. My interest in story content in Phantasy Star games varies greatly. Yeah, for sure, some games have done it far better than others. Yeah, I would encourage you to go and look at the roadmap if you haven't, because there is some interesting stuff on there. The only downside with the roadmap at the minute is, particularly the stuff towards the end of the year, it's very, very vague on the roadmap at the minute. It literally just says things like new item system, or new field, or field update, or something like that. It's very, very vague as to what they are, but it's probably just because they don't want to go into it yet, because it's towards the end of the year. Phantasy Star games never die. Well, unless it's Idler Phantasy Star Saga. I don't know if there's anywhere playing that now. And they seem to be trying their damnedest to make it impossible to play the original RPGs. PSO 1 and PSO 2 are my favourites, but the Gurhal games and just aren't really very interesting to me. I'll pay attention to some, but also not really some of the time. Yeah, on the story side, PSU's story is fine. I would say, honestly, PSP2, that has a pretty good story, as does Infinity. You would have to play the translated version for Infinity, though. They have pretty solid stories. Also, they weren't lying by calling this quest True Darkness. It feels like every other room's been a dark room. I remember I used to spam the hell out of this quest on the Sega servers, because this is what I used to run to hunt the Agatar replica. But yeah, I am interested within just to see where the story does go. It does look like the next part is doing some quite big changes, so I know they teased a new, potentially main character. There was also a teaser at the end of the trailer as well, which possibly seems to suggest that someone might be betraying Arcs. So that could be interesting. I think we need some peril in the story because it feels like at the moment there isn't really any in NGS. I thought we were getting that with Dark Falls Vile, and then we just kind of deleted him. Not gonna lie, I haven't finished a single Phantasy Star. I'm just going off the parts I did play. I respect the honesty. I like the Gurhal setting and story, especially once you get past the base game. I like the races in the PSU Universe games a lot too. I think the common theory so far is I think people think it might be Crawford that's going to betray Arcs, but that's not confirmed though. It does sound like the Crawford voice actor. Again, it's just sort of implied, so we'll have to see what happens in the story. I think we just need an ingest. We need some big story event to happen that sort of then drives the story forward. And that could be it, you know, if someone does betray Arcs and turn evil. Never finished any of the Gurhal games, got a bit into PSU, played some of PSP2 Infinity and PSP1 I gave up a few minutes in because the voice acting was awful. It's kind of a shame because honestly the story for PSP1 is really good. But I understand that, if you're not a fan of the voice acting, it's probably really, really hard to stick with the game. So I think the theme of this quest is that everything is dark. I'm going to assume this is Dulkfakis, if it's the same as the Sega server. Again, why so loud? Nice, we get the theme again. Yeah, I had a feeling that was the beam. He does hurt a lot. Quest survive, like, optional. It is the Zeal theme, yeah. They seem to like using this in Anguish quests. Oh god, here we go. I'm paralyzed as well, so I'm gonna die here. Goodbye. That just brings back horrible memories of the PSP2 playthrough, where he did that attack like 5 or 6 times in a row. Yeah, I thought I was going quite loud. Dark Facus. So, in PSU, for reasons I don't understand, he is called Dulk Facus. I don't know if it's meant to be Dark Falls, because later on the expansion they did add an actual Dark Falls. But yeah, that is Dark Falls. He's essentially a reskin of Dulk Facus. He has a few of his own attacks though. PSO 1 is the one I really want to finish since that's the most highly regarded game of the action RPGs. Hard though since I don't have anyone to do the story missions with on Affinia. Yeah, I suppose that's the downside of Blue Burst, is that you're kind of stuck to doing multiplayer strength quests for this story. It's a weird decision. You can get an idea of the story though if you just go into episode 1 and read all the message capsules that Rico leaves. That will give you an idea what's going on. You got killed with a stunning meteor too. It's so cheap. You just want to spam Garesta. Alright, so definitely Anguish counter. Yeah, so I guess let's go Param next. Let's do... I have no idea what Beach Bum Beast says, but I'm doing it. Am I missing out on story by playing Blue Burst? Thought it was the way because it has all the episodes except 3. So basically, you can get the full story in Blue Burst. It's just that the way the story is done in Blue Burst, they added what are called government quests, which you can only do. You can do them solo, but they have multiplayer strength enemies. The way they like PSO, GameCube, and Dreamcast and so on did it was they didn't have those quests, so they just had you read message capsules that were left by one of the characters. Like PSO story is like very hands off. It kind of leaves you to figure it out yourself. I can understand the bad voice acting not making you want to play. That's why I can't take the old school Resident Evil with the Jill sandwich. But yeah, you're definitely not missing out on Blue Burst. Blue Burst is probably the version of PSO to play now, particularly if you want to play with other people. Because it's got by far the biggest population. Yeah, it's just that the government quests... Basically what the government quests do is they essentially put what's going on in the story into a quest so you can... It will tell you exactly what's going on. But you can still get a really good idea of what's happening by just reading the message capsules, because that's how we all did it back on Dreamcast and GameCube. It's just basically another way of delivering the story. You love Planet Vopal. We all do. Also, don't worry about playing episode 3 for story as well, because 3 takes place after 4 anyway. It is like the completion of the PSO quadrilogy, I guess, but you can get the majority of the story you need from 1, 2, and 4. Won't lie, videos on classes made me restart a few times despite having some progress, because I didn't want to play a class I couldn't at the very least get into groups with and do fine. So, I don't know, maybe this is just people like misreading how I'm doing the videos, because I know I've had a couple of people mention similar. You can do fine with any class in PSO. It's just that because the game is old, the game isn't particularly well balanced. And because of that, there are classes that are just better, unfortunately. But having said that, you can still do fine with any class. I know we like to meme on Humor a lot because Humor does have a lot of issues, but you can still play one fine. Yeah, ranges are OP in PSO, I think, once you've got the gear. But to be fair, the gear that you need to become OP with a ranger is really easy to get. Don't expect to do top DPS and do the meta, just want to play the game. Yeah, if you just want to play the game, seriously play any class you want to. Obviously the guides I've done, they'll give you an idea of how the classes play. Because they do all have their own strengths and weaknesses, and you know, if you're playing a force, the different forces have different technique boosts. There are definite advantages and disadvantages to every class. So all I would say really is if you're just starting with PSO, just keep making new characters, keep trying different classes out and see what sticks with you. There's stuff like material plans that I go into in the videos, and that's more for once you've settled on a class and you know you're going to stick with it, then you can think about material plans and things like that later on. Certainly don't worry about that when you're just starting. And like I was saying earlier, for this game, you know, PSO is a 25-year-old game. Really don't worry about it too much. TLDR, pick Phonium and get smushed by a random monkey. Or Phone well, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's maybe one of the only things I would say is, if it's your very, very first character, Force can be quite difficult for a very first character just because they're quite intensive on your money early on, because you'll need to keep replenishing fluids and so on. So they can be a little bit harder to play for a very first character, but you can still do it. That's not to say forces are bad, by the way, it's just that and maybe a little less beginner friendly just because they do cost a bit to run initially. I was playing my Gurhal since I remembered it being like a support-based ranger. Also, I just really like my character's design. Makes me wish the characters weren't gender locked like the older Diablos. Yeah, Gurhal is kind of... She's a very, very good solo class. They're very, very sort of self-sufficient, I would say. They are verdant assassins, they are. To be fair, these grass assassins are probably more legit because they actually look like the ones from the classic RPGs. I'm not sure about Purple Nun Ranger. I mean, it's kind of funny because my very first character in PSO that I ever made was a Purple Nun Ranger. I know some IDs get kind of screwed on mag evolutions, but to get around that, you can just make another character and then trade the mag to a different character to get them to level it, to get the right Photon Blasts. Again, not really something you need to worry about for a very first character, maybe. But Purple Nun is a really strong Ranger ID. Yeah, if you have any mag issues, I would just personally just trade it to another character and get them to evolve it. These are big grass assassins, they are. I mean, I think generally for a new player mag in PSO, I really wouldn't worry about going with like a min-max mag because min-max mags are really designed to be used at really high level. Because they can kind of screw you over if you use them at low level. For example, the Hue New World min-max mag has like 100 dex on it. If you use that on a really low level Hue New World, you'll hit things fine, but you'll do no damage at all. So sometimes it's better to go with a more generalized mag at low level. But yeah, in regards to Gurhal, Gurhal is a really, really strong class. The Green Hill Ranger, also I was going to look into buying mags to trade since mag training seems like too much for me. I totally understand that. Yeah, leveling mags can be a bit of a nightmare in PSO. Some people like it, some people hate it. I really don't like it. Also, Green Hill is a really good ID, by the way. Very, very good Ranger ID. And get some really nice drops later on. You usually have like a damage stat is big mag and then switch over to min-max later. Yeah, min-max is for when you've done your material plan, you're at higher level. And then once you're at high level, then you can switch to min-max mag to, as it says, to max out as many stats as possible. I wonder how I knew about that. Spoiler alert, I watched your vid. Okay, I just saw one of those enemies do 4,000 damage to someone. That worries me. Commune with the Elder Gods, praise Rico, make sure your Olga flows. Yeah, the interesting thing about the IDs in PSO is like, even if you pick an ID that you think is a bad match for your character, you can still use that character to hunt gear for other characters. And it can actually be beneficial. You know, example I'll use that I never pay any attention to, but probably should. You know, if you are going for something like, say, CLJ Sword later on, you know, obviously it's a Skyly only drop. A lot of people will make Skyly Hunters, but realistically, Ranger is a far better character to hunt that weapon, because Tower is a lot easier as a Ranger. So a lot of people will make Skyly Rangers to hunt CLJ Sword, and then just give the CLJ to the Hunter when they get it. I pay no attention to that, and I still do it with Hunter anyway. But Pingle Humor represent. You can do Pingle Humor. Honestly, Pingle has some really nice drops. I'm very dead. Yeah, getting stunned on like 400 health is probably not going to end well. Wait, Towers in PSO 1? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, you'll learn that, yeah, Tower is in pretty much every game. And is a miserable experience in pretty much every game as well. Particularly in PSO. Again, don't worry about Tower if you're low level. Just pretend it doesn't exist. Man, these guys just don't stop attacking. Like I said. Yeah, in Zero, I think Phantasy Star Zero, the main issue with the tower is just how long it is. You know, was it like 101 floors or something? Yeah, you could see these as Fat Dwarf missed for sure. To be funny, this one keeps despawning because it keeps charging. It's gone so fast, it's getting outside of bounds and just respawns again. How was it in Clementine? They added it a little while ago. So we did one stream of it. It seemed okay. I mean, we didn't get too far up the tower. Good thing about Clementine Tower, though, is it does save you progress. So you basically do 5 stages at a time. And then you can just go back to it whenever you want to. Whereas in Phantasy Star Zero, you do the whole thing in one go. Sega devs versus not putting all the insta-kill enemies in tower. It's their own personal goblin mask. Yeah, Sage Draft. Yeah, Pinkle is really, really nice. It has some really good drops. Like the lame drop for Pinkle is a really good one. Man, these guys are bulky. They expected you to do 101 floors in one sitting. Yeah, do you know what the even worst thing is? One floor in PS0 Tower is treated as like, it's like 4 or 5 rooms. I think you would basically have to like do an amount of it and then essentially put your DS on charge. I guess close the screen while it's charging and then come back to it later. It was not particularly well thought out. Your previous screen cap being in the Gogmazius arena, or the yeah, on the Gug arena, gave me PTSD. Yeah, same draft. Yeah, I would not want to do 101 floors of tower on Zero. I guess with like emulation, you can just save state now and then come back to it whenever. which is probably the way to go, honestly. It is crazy, yeah. I mean, the good thing is you don't need to go right to the top to get some good drops, but unfortunately, some of the best drops are from like final boss. It is funny though, isn't it, how Tower seems to be in basically every Phantasy Star. Well, to be fair, I guess it was in PSU originally. It's a Clementine edition. I appear to be stuck inside this guy. Thank you. I just remember playing Illuminous offline since that was all I could do at the time. And having to FPS that idiot because it kept flying off. Yeah, it is very annoying, particularly at high level when it's really fast as well. Like you'd stop, you know, you'd go for your aim, and by the time you'd done that, you'd float on the other side of the arena. He was a very annoying boss. Yeah, I like how Clementine have done Tower for sure. I'm wondering how much there is to do endgame on Clem since my character is 170. So once you get to, I think it's 180. Oh god, do we have to fight Lena? Also, she's like incredibly fast. That's really funny. Yeah, once you get to, I think it's 180, you can start to run ultimate quests, which is where a lot of the good stuff drops. It's very funny how fast she's running. Oh god, she's chasing. That is terrifying. So how much health does she have? Not enough, apparently. I got a Lena portrait. Oh, I got a Heart of Poom U. I mean, it's something. I wish it was a U+. No Ethan jump scare. No, you do Clem Camp for that. Reach level 50 Wartech. Oh, nice. Alright, I think we've got time for maybe what? Maybe one more? We'll see. Just buy stuff first, because I use a lot of mates in that run. Imagine working your way through Tower and seeing the message that the server will be resetting in an hour. Let's see, so what was the last one? Was that Param? Yeah, that was Param. Maybe since it's just 3 of us, maybe we do a quest without a boss. Can't even remember what most of these are. I'll tell you what, let's do Dancing Birds. Let's get some really cursed rappies going. Remember doing the boosted experience missions for leveling up in the Guardian sub, but the boosted experience wasn't working properly for a bunch of them. Yeah, I really like this area. The music's really good as well. Unfortunately, it does contain these guys. Yeah, I suppose that's one thing I really like about PSU. I really like how diverse a lot of the areas are. I guess there had to be to, you know, differentiate the different planet areas, but it does genuinely feel like most areas are completely different. The only ones that feel kind of samey are some of the indoor plant areas. Yeah, I was thinking for the Sunday stream. I think next week we might do a PSO2 stream next week, either PSO2 or NGS, whichever I feel like, because we haven't done that on stream for a little while. And then maybe the following week we'll do PSO. I think the Wednesday streams, they're going to be front mission for a little while longer. I want to say that maybe we're about halfway through. But these guys are so creepy. Yeah, I think for front mission, I think we're maybe about halfway through the story. And after that, we'll probably just pivot to probably some other RPG, honestly. I've been really enjoying doing different RPGs on the Wednesday, so I'll probably keep that up, I think. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying these quests, actually, the Anguish ones. So when I did Ultimate Quest for the first time, I wasn't too impressed by them, but these feel like a nice balance. There we go, there's our first cursed rappy. I really don't like the big rappies. I mean, how does that fly? How? Hopes and dreams, I think. They are big. They are. Yep, we've got go boomers. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is photon magic. Because God knows the wings aren't carrying on. Oh, we got a Varista. It's not like a U or a U+, but we got a Varista. I've been reminded of the boomer designs. Yeah, it's not something you want to be reminded about, really, is it? Someone has found a special weapon. It's a really pointless banner, that, because it doesn't tell you what it is they've found. But yeah, the boomer designs in this game are weird. Oh, these are ground element rappies. They do be looking a bit KFC. It's just called special weapon. Yeah, that's literally the name of the weapon. It just kind of feel like Clementine and Affinia kind of like look at each other and use ideas that the others use. Like the banner system and everything. I really like it, to be fair. I really like the idea of like the server announcing who's got a really good drop. It just randomizes the special effect. It's a different weapon every time you use it. Boomers with the Jimmy Neutron hat. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to like redesign the boomers so much. Like, they only very vaguely resemble PSO boomers, really. It's kind of weird. I think that Rappy just gave me 82,000 experience. That's just insane. I saw that trap on the ground and I still went into it. I know it's way before AI, but I feel like if you put into an AI prompt boomer but uncanny valley cryptid, you get these. Yeah, this is from a much more innocent time where we didn't have to worry about AI. The only AI you have to worry about in PSU is Mother Brain. I first realised that weapon is like a musical instrument. That's really cool. At least these don't have like 12 fingers coming out of their teeth like AI would do, yeah. Yeah, as much as I'd like to believe that AI is a fad that will just burn itself out, I really hope it does. I just can't see it, unfortunately. I don't know if anyone saw, but I mean, obviously everyone is aware of the issues with PC components at the minute because of AI. It's going to get worse because Intel have just recently announced that they are scaling back production of consumer components. They are going to focus more on business AI use. They're still going to do consumer ones, but a lower amount. So there's going to be even less on the market. I genuinely feel sorry for anyone who hasn't managed to upgrade a PC, because I would hate to be doing it now. I genuinely don't know how you afford a PC at the minute. Oh, I got a Sandrappy Boy U+. Bubble's going to pop soon enough. I really hope it does. You know, when you've got people going back and, you know, instead of buying DDR5 memory, they're going back and buying DDR4, or in some cases even DDR3. That is a problem. Will there ever be another fresh server of PSU? I have no idea. I haven't seen anyone else saying they're going to make one. As far as I know at the minute, I think Clementine is the only option at the moment. Whether anyone decides to do another server in the future, I don't know. I kind of feel with PSU that there is only a certain demand for playing PSU. There is only so many players who want to play PSU. That's not me saying anything about the game. It's just that, you know, let's be real, it doesn't have a massive player base. I think even if you made another server, I don't know how many you'd get playing it. They are doing a vanilla ship for Clem. That's cool for people who want it. I mean, I've always said that I like the idea of a vanilla ship, but I just don't know how many players you'd get on it. It feels like there isn't really enough players to split the player base. Cool to see, though. It's coincidental that I've suddenly had an inclination to not facilitate relinquishing my current capital to various vendors. Shame, really. Yeah, I do not blame anyone for not buying stuff at the minute. Yeah, that'll be cool to see, Juniper, when they do the new server. Hopefully, people play it. I just don't know how many people would take to it. I guess it kind of depends as well, like how many people like the changes on this server. as opposed to playing a strictly vanilla server of PSU, because yes, there are some changes on Clementine I'm not a huge fan of, but there were some big issues with the Sega server PSU that I don't know if I'd want to go through again. Same with games. Why buy AAA when there are so many older games and indies that are 20 euros or less? You don't need to upgrade PC for those mostly. To be fair, half the AAA games are using AI now anyway. Man, these rappies have hands. Yeah, they are very uncanny valley, for sure. It's the eyes. Yeah, maybe it is. The eyes are very creepy on them, for sure. Why did they give them human eyes? It is extremely creepy. Yeah, I'm not sure how long the new server's going to take for, Clem. I imagine it's a pretty small team working on it, so yeah, I don't know how long that would take. So are you just wanting a more sort of vanilla experience than Queen Sorceress? I totally get why, if you do. Man. They don't mess around. Yeah, I mean, I'm very glad that Clementine's here, obviously. It is providing the ability to play this game online. Yeah, which I'm very, very thankful for. But I do appreciate that there are some people who probably want an experience that's more akin to the old Sega servers. Okay, garbage drops, nice. Tell you what, we've got a few minutes. We can do one more quest, sure. Sure, I think to make it easy, I think we'll just do that again. Yeah, so we'll do one more run of this, and then we'll probably end it after that. Must consume more chimkin. Again, I have no idea what drops in these quests, so... Also these weird frog rappy things. Yeah, these guys are extremely weird. They kind of make a bit of a cameo in PSO2 as well. Sort of. I think it was in the Las Vegas area. There was this trial where you had to stop a UFO and there was these things that would float around in the air that looked very similar to them. Heading off, thanks to the stream. Oh, no worries, thanks for the runs as well. Yeah, another stream will probably run over slightly with us doing this, but it's fine. I feel since there's been less content lately, it can't hurt to do a little bit more. It's been a bit since I caught a stream, thankful to at least catch the last hour. I mean, to be fair, Clarity, there wasn't a stream last Sunday. We were meant to do this last Sunday, but then obviously with everything that's happened, I had to reschedule it. So we'll be streaming on Wednesday as well, so that'll be the front mission stream as usual. It's been on my brain stuff go burr. Yeah, believe me, there is no rule saying you have to be at every stream. Also, some bad news. So because I've apparently earned enough this year from the stream, I unfortunately now have the privilege of having to pay tax on the earnings. Thanks, UK government. Yeah, for like the last sort of year or two, it's been fine because I've earned like a nice amount from doing it, but just under the threshold before I have to declare it. This year, no luck. Yes, I've actually had to declare this now as a self-employed job. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, is good on the one hand because it means I'm doing well enough to be able to, you know, to do that. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean I have, like, you know, Mr. Beast YouTube money. Certainly not in a position where I can do this full time, put it that way. Which is why I only do two streams a week, because I do work full time as well. Clementine was originally based on the original PSU server. They upgraded it to the Japanese base game as it had all the extra content that wasn't released in the West, including the updated grinding as found in Ambition. Okay. I haven't bought 5 cars while streaming. Not yet. Not yet. No, I haven't spent all my earnings on like a $10 million Pokemon card yet, so clearly haven't made it yet. Speaking of Pokemon, at some point I should probably get some of my old cards graded. I've still got some of the old cards from like the 90s. I should probably look into getting some of those graded. I don't think I'm sitting on a gold mine or anything, but... I've actually been wanting to play a Pokemon game recently, but trying to decide of a good Pokemon game to play on the Switch has been quite tough. I think from what I saw, people said that Legends Arceus was pretty good, but I literally haven't played any of the Pokemon games on Switch, so I don't know if any of them are actually any good. I only have a Switch once, so I think Scarlet and Violet is probably out the window because it probably runs like garbage. Pokemon Emerald on Virtual Console. I mean, if I want to go back to the really old games, I've literally still got my old Game Boy Pocket with Pokemon Red. Scarlet and Violet does run like garbage, okay. I think from what I've heard, I think it apparently runs pretty good on Switch 2, but I'm not buying a Switch 2 just to play one game. And from what I saw, people had pretty good things to say about Legends Arceus, but man, I never even played Sword and Shield, so I don't even know if they run well. Also, there is the slight issue of I'd have to get a physical copy because apparently Nintendo just never do sales on the Pokemon games. I checked on the eShop and like, even games like Sword and Shield were still like full price, which is ridiculous. But also completely unsurprising. Yeah, I checked it on a website that kind of tracks prices over time, and yeah, I don't think Sword and Shield has ever had a sale. And obviously, if Sword and Shield's never had a sale, then of course Scarlet and Violet haven't. Never cared for Pokemon, only ever played the OG Blue version of the game. Never again. Each their own, though. I have fun with them. I mean, I will agree that they are basically the same game released over and over again. Maybe with the exception of the spin-off games, and I suppose games like the Legends games, they do at least work differently. Yeah, from what I've seen of Legends Arceus, it looks at least different enough. But the mainline games, they just seem like more or less the same thing over and over again. I think the last one I played, I think, was Moon, I think, on the 3DS. No, for sure, it's way more popular than Phantasy Star, not in my book, though. It's way more popular than most franchises, to be fair, but yeah. I do agree that they are very, very lazy with the games. But I guess, you know, if you're making a game and it's selling millions and millions of copies and you don't really do much different with it, why would you ever change? Arceus isn't that different from the mainline games. I think, am I right in thinking that the combat works a bit different? Or is that just a new one? Slightly different, okay. I like Ultra Sun, but the tutorial being in almost an hour was certainly a choice. Slightly, but the core concept of turn-based is still there, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had fun with the really early Pokemon games. You know, I grew up with them. I'll always have like good memories of playing like, you know, Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver. And I sort of stayed with it until like Sun and Moon, and then just kind of fell out of favour with it. I think what it was, I think it's when it moved to Switch and it went to Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield I know didn't get great reviews when it released, and that kind of put me off. And then just never really went back to it. Yeah, the Digimon games are interesting. I know that pretty much everyone is completely different. I think, isn't the new Digimon game meant to be really good? What you'll learn quite fast watching these streams is that I basically don't play anything. People like it. Yeah, the latest Pokemon game, it's quite funny. So the map, it's all based on this city, and basically the entire map is one model. So instead of splitting it into small parts and just loading in the other parts of the map as they need to, they literally have the entire city as a model. Oh, another Versta. Can't comment on Digimon, know nothing about that franchise. I know very little about it. My brother was absolutely mad on Digimon. He was a massive fan of it. I never really got into it much. It kind of went over my head a bit. I just know a few people have said that the new game is pretty good. Still streaming, it's 5:30 AM here. Yeah, we're just finishing this quest, and then we're going to end it after that. Would have normally ended about 5 minutes ago, but yeah. I didn't want to end early, so I thought we'd do one more run. I think Game Freak don't know how to make an interesting open world. Same problem as Sega, apparently. Stopped playing Pokemon fairly early, Soul Silver and Heart Gold. I mean, I definitely played it a lot less, probably from like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald onwards. I was very, very big on it for like Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold and Silver. And then played it less after that, but I still got the games and played them a bit. But then after the 3DS games, I more or less dropped off. Yeah, I don't really know anything about Scarlet and Violet, honestly. I just remember when they launched, there was loads of bad press about them for the performance issues and bugs with the game. I understand they've probably fixed quite a few of them by now, but I think performance is still an issue on the Switch one. Oh, I got a Happy Rappy Parasol U+. I feel like every time I play PSU I get one of those. Yeah, I agree with you, Mist. I think that we're at a point now where there's so many Pokemon now. It just kind of feels like adding more for the sake of adding more. I mean, obviously they're adding more because money. The more Pokemon there are, the more merch they can make. I've got a twin Kamui U. I mean, it's something. So close to 200. I'm insulted that the Pokemon games based on Spain and Portugal are so terrible. $675k at next level. Oof. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet was the one based on like sort of Spain, Portugal, yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to leave party. Yeah, we will end that one there for today. So there will be a stream, well, there will be the Arcs Lounge podcast on, yeah, the Arcs Lounge podcast on Tuesday on Kathy's channel. There will be a Wednesday stream, which will be Front Mission 3 again. There will be a video going live this week as well, which will go live on either Tuesday or Wednesday as well. So look forward to that. What I'm going to do for the video is, because it's been a while since the last upload, I'm just going to make it live to everyone straight away. Going forward, we'll probably go back to doing the members having the priority again. But for this video, just because it's been a while since the last one, I'll make it live to everyone straight away. Not a single regional legendary that was based off anything. We got imported Chinese legendaries. But yeah, we will end that there for today. So as usual, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the stream, please consider either liking, subscribing, or joining as a member on YouTube if you want to. You can follow or sub on well, either YouTube or Twitch. You can follow on X or Bluesky. And you can also join my Discord channel as well, which there'll be a link to underneath the video. So feel free to join us there. Yeah, hope you have a good week, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for some Front Mission 3, and on Tuesday for the Arcs Lounge podcast as well. See you guys.